What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. You know what? How should I greet you? People with their YouTube channels, they have a certain way of greeting their viewers. But I don't know if I like, what's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. So give me a recommendation on how I should start things off. Hey, y'all, that's really natural for me. Or I was thinking about something like, what's up, apples and androids? But that might be too much. So anyway, help me decide on this. In this video, I'm taking you on a tour. I think it's about time that I take you on a tour of all of my indoor plants and just kind of give you a glimpse into my indoor jungle and show you how plants can change your life. So I started gardening, vegetable gardening, about 6 years ago, but it wasn't until I moved into a space where I had no yard that I kind of ventured into being an indoor plant model. And so I discovered that I love to take care of indoor plants. I started with one or two, right? That's how it always starts out. To try it out, and now look, fast forward 3 years later, I still have, so now I have a space where I can garden outside. I do container gardening for my vegetable gardens, and I have a space outside, but I still keep my indoor plants. I have 16 plants that I take care of, but who's counting? So anyway, that number fluctuates too, just based on me buying new plants to replace the ones that die, because that does happen. There are many reasons to keep plants in your home. Having plants in the house stimulates being in nature, which, you know, creates the happiness chemicals that we know about. Plants have healing properties. They purify the air and detox your home. So there's an actual NASA study out about that, and it recommends having a certain number of plants every 100 square feet in the home to clean the air and purify your space. So look, there's a reason for all this. Also, plants give people purpose. Like me, I'm venturing into the empty nester phase, and I'm not, people say the plant lady is the new cat lady. Like, I'm not like that, but I do like taking care of my plants. It does kind of give me a purpose, like I'm giving back to the environment. But plants can also be used to kind of bring this design element, right? Complete your home decor scheme. So many reasons to have indoor plants. You pick yours. If you like what you see in this video, hopefully you're encouraged to start your own indoor plant jungle. So as this one is the Fiddle Leaf Fig, or also known as the banjo fig or fiddle leaf, same thing. The reason it's named that is because of the shape of the leaf. I think it looks like a banjo or fiddle leaf, or shaped like a violin. It's a popular house plant, but it's really popular and known for being hard to take care of. Maybe that's why I take pride in this one, because I've had mine for a couple years now and they're doing okay. So fingers crossed, knock on wood, that stays the case. This plant symbolizes important memories, friendliness, and kindness. Maybe that's why I like it so much. This is a new one that I have, a Chinese evergreen. I like the also known as, it's called a poison dart plant. I like it. I love plants with these vibrant colors in the leaves. This one's easy. It says it's easy to take care of. I just got it a couple weeks ago, so it usually takes me about 6 months to know if a plant's really hard to take care of or not. But I hope this one's easy. I need it to stay around a long time. This one symbolizes fortune, prosperity, longevity, and family. Okay, so here is the dragon tree or Madagascar dragon tree or Dracaena. This plant is really kind of out of sight, out of mind. This is one of the first indoor plants I had, one of 3 types that I had, and it is really easy to take care of. Like, I have to be honest, I don't do anything except water this plant. I give it a little bit of fertilizer probably once a year. It's so easy to take care of. I got another one. Okay, and so here's the thing on this one, I definitely know the light requirements have to be watched very carefully, because it said filtered light, right? Like it didn't need direct sun. And so I put it in a corner on the stairs, and then I started getting this brown leaf situation going on. So I have moved this second one that I got to a corner where there's a window, and so I'm gonna see how it does in this with more direct light. So anyway, that's the dragon tree, because this one's really easy to take care of. It symbolizes, oh, look at this, pleasure to the eyes, defense, and war. Wow, okay. Here is the golden pothos that I have. It's also known as devil's ivy. This plant is supposedly very hard to kill. It can grow in low lights, really any light situation. It says it's hard to kill, but yet on my Picture This app, in terms of the health state, it says it needs more care. Anyway, I just recently got it, and like I said, it usually takes me about 3 to 6 months to see how easy or hard a plant to take care of. So stay tuned for how this one does. Not all my plants have lived, and I've had, my fair share of plant fails. But anyway, this one is fairly new. Oh, this is one I got from Sprouts along with the mini rubber plant that I showed before. Symbolizes happiness, good fortune, determination to achieve one's goals, and wealth. All right, so I'm gonna try to keep this one around and alive. All right, so here's the snake plant, one of many of these types that I have. I find it very easy to take care of. Sometimes I realize I'm neglecting the plant, and then come back and I'm able to do a couple things like change the location and give it some fertilizer, and then it just bounces back. These plants are so resilient in most cases. I do have one that I think is on its last leg and on its way out the door. It's probably some leaf rot going on or some kind of bacterial infection. And one of the first indoor plants that I've had, so I've had this one that's dying for about 3 years, not really sure what's going on. Maybe it's me, maybe it's the environment, who knows. But yeah, I think this one is on its deathbed, unfortunately. But I love these snake plants because they're really easy to take care of. This plant symbolizes long life, protection, luck, and prosperity. So yeah, the snake plants are really popular and usually easy to take care of, as long as you don't neglect it too long. Okay, they say whether or not it's admitted, every parent has a favorite child, whether they admit it or not. And as a plant parent, I have to admit that this Monstera, delicioso, this one is my favorite. And I think the reason behind that is it's the first indoor plant that I've had that has lasted so long. And I got this plant probably about 3.5 years ago. It was in a small pot, maybe a 10-inch And now it has grown to this oversized thing that takes over this whole corner. So I think I just like it because of, first of all, it's lasted so long. It's such a huge, and like it just makes this huge statement. It has been somewhat easy to take care of. And when I look at it in my Picture This app, it does say that it's doing okay, but it could use more care. And I think there's something I need to do to repot it again, but it's just gotten so big. I mean, it's huge, and I've already repotted it twice, so I would have to go up in size, and then I also need to do something to make these larger branches more sturdy. So anyway, yes, this is my favorite plant. It just, to me, makes this big bold statement, like, and I'm kind of proud that it's lasted this long, been able to grow this size. Here is the Zanzibar Gym, or Eternity Plant, or really the name that I've been calling it, it's the ZZ plant. This one's really easy to take care of. Now, I know it says that, you know, on all the plant guides, but I can prove it. I had this plant in a corner in the bathroom for the first year that I had it, and I never repotted it. I never took it out of the container that it came in, and it survived. So then I finally repotted it and put it in this bigger planter here, and moved it out into the light, and it's still like, bring it, what you got. This one is holding on. It's nothing that I can do to it. It's an eternity plant. It's gonna be around. So I like that, but I need it to be around because it attracts wealth. The symbolism of it is attracts wealth, resiliency, grounding, and longevity. Yes, I need all these vibes. And shout out to Blessings Gallery, because this is where I've been getting more of my plants that I have now. They have a really good variety, and also what I love is that the people in the store really give you good advice and kind of like plant care tips on the front end. So shout out to Blessings Gallery in Houston as well. All right, here we go with the Calathea Vitata, or the Geoportia elliptica. These plant names, they're gonna really stretch my brain. This one is obviously at risk. Not so many leaves you see there, and I know that the care calls for low light or indirect light, and I had it in that sort of situation, that setup, and then I started to see like the leaves falling off. They weren't burning, but they were just falling off and kind of turning yellow. So I changed how much I was watering it. That didn't really make it any better. So now I've moved it to this direct light situation, and at least the 3 leaves that are left on here have been stable. And so I'm keeping it here for now. I'll keep watching it, but I've had this plant for about 6 months, and it hasn't really grown over beyond the size that I bought it at. So like I said, for me, that window to know what's easy, what's difficult is usually like a 6-month window, and I'm right up on that. So to me, everybody talks about how hard the Fiddle Leaf Fig is to grow. No, I think it's the Calathea Vitata. And this one, mine at the current time, is just at risk, right? So it's on a watch list. But still, I like the look of it. If I'm ever able to grow one and figure out kind of exactly what it likes, then it'll be worth all the time and different things I've had to try with it. Here's the Bird of Paradise plant that I have. This is another one that's kind of like hanging in there. It's not unhealthy or anything, but it's definitely not thriving, right? Because it's a flowering plant, and I've never even seen any flowers start on here, and I've moved it around a couple times, and it's surviving, but it's not really like flourishing a great deal. So this is the bird of paradise. It's also known as a crane flower or mini crane flower because it is supposed to have those like spiky, really bright fluorescent color flowers that bloom off of it. But I haven't gotten any yet. That's okay though. I've had it for, this is another one that I've had for a while, probably about 2.5 years that I've had this plant. I'm going to keep it around for as long as it wants to be here. This plant symbolizes magnificence, faithfulness, love, and optimism. All right, this is another original house plant that I had. It wasn't part of the first 3, but it was in my first like year of starting to take care of house plants that I got this one. And actually this is a success story because I brought this plant back to life. Right now it is experiencing little brown spots, so it's taken another dip, but this one in that first year was definitely on the verge of dying, and I had to repot it and change the lighting situation. And then I also found a specific type of fertilizer for this rattlestate plant, and that's what helped me bring it back to life. So anyway, I think I'm going to move it again because I do see a little brown spot on here in the leaves, and they're starting to like have a little burn on the edges. That's another indicator. So we'll see if I can save it a second time. But yeah, I like this plant, and when it's most healthiest, the leaves are really pretty. They call it a rattlestate plant, obviously, because these long slender leaves on here have the circle spots, and so it looks like a rattlesnake. What is this one? This plant symbolizes a new beginning. Oh wow, look at that, right? Like, how many times am I gonna have to bring this plant back to life? But it's living up to its symbolism, right, in new beginning. I just love this. This is the Chinese money plant, also known as the Chinese missionary plant, UFO plant, probably because of the circular leaves there, or the pancake plant. Yeah, definitely because of its shape and size there. This was kind of another success story. It was a rescue plant, one that I adopted and took in, and basically repotted it, and it started to kind of come back to life. So a little resurrection on this one too. But the success story is that I was able to propagate it, right? And so now there's a little baby Chinese money plant that's growing here too. So I think that's pretty cool. I like this one. It's supposed to be challenging to take care of. It can be a little bit finicky, but what I had to do was some research around the specific soil, because it's not a succulent, but it's definitely like overlapping in the succulent family. So I changed out the soil type and got some that was a little more sandy because it likes to stay on the drier side. So what helped me kind of rejuvenate this plant was definitely in changing out the soil and keeping the watering very consistent. The other thing that I'm now doing, and I'm kind of doing this with all these more delicate plants, is I'm watering them with bottled water. So the water in some municipalities can be quite hard with all the filtration that they do, and who God only knows what chemicals they're putting in there. I'm not saying bottled water is the perfect, it's not a silver bullet either, because we don't really know what's in the bottled water either, but it has been helping with me with this particular plant. Yeah, so this one seems like it's doing well. It's growing consistently. And oh, the symbolism here is being open and above board. So these plants are really living up to their names and meanings. I kind of like that. So another plant in the Calathea family. I'm really liking these. The leaves are so unique and decorative and bold, and they just really stand out. So I think that's why I'm attracted to these plants. This one is the rabbit tracks or herringbone Calathea. There's various names to it. The main one is a praying plant, and that comes from just the behavior of the plant. And I keep saying I want to do a time lapse on these to show, like, they literally do fold up in the evening and then open up. By the time I wake up and come into the living room, they've opened up during the day. So definitely the description of the plant matches the behavior. The other Calatheas do this too, like the rattlesnake plant is a praying plant. And so this one I've only had for a little while, so it's too early to tell whether it's going to be easy or difficult to take care of. Standard sort of guidelines for this one, and I'm keeping it away from the direct light. One thing I learned from one of the plant shops I went to is that these Calatheas really like to have a simulated rainforest environment. So it's like the best thing to do, they said, is to cluster all of these together and keep them in indirect light, and then also keep the environment that they're in, the humidity levels need to be higher. So what I'm doing is clustering them together and then kind of spraying the bottom of the leaves to keep it as moist as possible. So far so good on this one. Like I said, I think it's too early to tell, but trying to keep this one in the in the land of the living as far as that goes. So as you can see, I'm still learning and gaining a lot of knowledge about how to take care of plants, what they like and what they don't like, and also what they symbolize. Really and truly, this is a very rewarding part of my life for me now. I absolutely love it. Like, there's no going back. I think it's a key component to living a happy and healthy lifestyle, and it's working for me. So it's worth the trial and error, effort, investment of time and money. So I encourage you to start plant parenting.